samarat aganisham tattakalayam marichire bindumatyam bindum anutapatyata tasmat sargyayam madhura namabhavam madho samanasi viravartatata bhojayam mantu pramantu jagyate mantu satyayam bhuvanastato dusanayam tastadhanastha tastur vinochanayam virajo virajasha satyajit Parabaram putra satam kanyacha vishuchuta kilagatam. This is the prose. So in the womb of Gayanti, Maharaj Gaya begot three sons named Chitraratha, Sugati and Avarodhana. In the womb of his wife Urna, Chitraratha begot a son named Samarat. The wife of Samarat was Utkala. And in her womb, Samarat begot a son named Marichi. In the womb of his wife, Bindumati, Marichi begot a son named Bindu. In the womb of his wife, Sargaha, Bindu begot a son named Madhu. In the womb of his wife named Sumana, Madhu begot a son named Birbrata. In the womb of his wife Bhoja, Birbrata begot two sons named Mantu and Paramantu. In the womb of his wife Satya, Mantu begot a son named Bhovana, and in the womb of his wife Dusana, Bhovana begot a son named Twasta. In the womb of his wife Virochana, Twasta begot a son named Viraja. The wife of Viraja was Vishuchi, and in her womb Viraja begot 100 sons and one daughter. Of all these sons, the surname Satyajit was predominant. These are different descendants of Priyamrta. So that's number 16. Tatrayam sloka Prayavratam Vamsam Imam Virajas Charamodbhava Akarod Atiyalam Kirtya Vishnu Suraganam Yatha Tatrayam sloka Prayavratam Vamsam Imam Prayavratam Vamsam Imam Virajas Charamodbhava Akaroratiyalam Kirtya Vishnu Suraganam Yatha Tatrayam sloka in that connection I am sloka. There is this famous verse. Prayavartam coming from King Priyavrata, Vangsham, the dynasty, Imam, this, Viraja, King Viraja, Charama Udbhava, the source of 100 sons, headed by Satyajit, Akarot, decorated, Atiyalam, very greatly, Kirtya, by his reputation, Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Suraganam, the demigods, Yatha, just as. Translation and purport by Mr. Prabhupada. There is a famous verse about King Viraja. Because of his high qualities and the wide fame, King Viraja became the jewel of the dynasty of King Priyavrata. Thus says Lord Vishnu, by his transcendental potency, decorates and blesses demigods. Prabhupada, in a garden, a flowering tree attains a good reputation because of its fragrant flowers. Similarly, there is a famous man in a family is compared to a fragrant flower in a forest. Because of him, an entire family can become famous in history. Because Lord Krishna took birth in the Yadu dynasty, the Yadu dynasty and the Yadavas remain famous for all time. Because of King Viraja's appearance, the family of Mars Priyavrata is remain famous for all time. So this is the general symptom of how a family is judged, or a dynasty is judged, or an organization is judged. So it is very important to keep in mind, therefore, that its member in the family is extremely important. And so there is also the blessings of the divine arrangement. A prominent person comes into the family, generally the family's glories are spread all over the world. It's like in the Bhagavatam, that Sabdev had 100 sons also. Sabdev, that is the eldest son, Bharat Maharaj, was very saintly, and so he instructed his 100 sons, my dear sons, please follow this your eldest son, Bharat. So if you follow him, then it will be as good as following me. Because Bharat Maharaj was very saintly, very well behaved, and could represent the whole dynasty, and also could represent his father, the whole family, in a very nice way. Therefore, to ensure that the family tradition or the community appreciates that the dynasty, therefore is specifically instructed his sons, because sons, some of them may disobey, may create problem in that kingdom. So he saw that in order to prevent that, therefore he specifically instructed for to retire the family life and proceed for the God of self-realization. So he wanted to see that the good glories of the dynasty is maintained. Just like in the Kuru dynasty, or in the Pandavas, in the called generally known as Kuru dynasty. So when Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he was about to retire, then so Parikshit Maharaj was born, as son of Uttara, and then found out from consulting the the sages and the saintly people, and also like Gargamuni, that the family priest, so want to know what will be the qualities of his child. Why don't you? This quality will invite the glories of Pandava dynasty. So when Gargamuni was reading this horoscope and the of Parikshit, and predicted that the child will definitely have all the qualities of the Pandava dynasty. So that's what Krishna was happy that another administrative power to Parikshit Maharaj. So in this way, this is a symptom of the tradition. But what about ISKCON? What about the tradition of ISKCON? That is also have to apply this in our practical life. That what should we do? It's like among Siddhanta Prabhupada disciples, definitely our Brahmanas, the Prabhupada was would say the most prominent. So Prabhupada, because of his great attachment to the instructions of his Guru Maharaj, in spite of, you see, in old days, you can all experience that when the body is getting older, and you can see that it's not very easy to move around. And also, because staying in one place and reading, doing the Srimad Bhagavatam, and practicing spiritual life is also kind of sometimes very attractive. But then, when I have to move around the world, especially when one becomes advanced age, it's not very easy. It's see that we are not so old, but still feel the pulse. That otherwise the body doesn't cooperate with the mind. Your mind wants to do a lot of nice things, but sometimes the body doesn't permit that. But Prabhupada, you see, when Prabhupada, when staying in the Damodar temple, that he was commenting, reading that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on Bhagavad Gita, and he found that Vishwanath Chakravarti was writing that the life of the disciple to follow the instructions of the spiritual master is the life and soul of the spiritual master. So he took that very seriously, and even so that was kind of the starting point. Because when Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada instructed Prabhupada that he carry this message to the English-speaking countries outside India, like Europe, the United States, and very important place that Prabhupada had to go. But then he was it was not very easy. Rather, it's a very difficult task because during those days, it's not like now. Today we can fly anywhere we want. But in those days, really, there are so much restrictions. Especially coming from India, going overseas is like climbing the Himalayan mountain. Sometimes it's very difficult. It's not easy. Even in my time, in the early days, in the 60s, it's very difficult. Even if we have a lot of money, it's not possible to go overseas. It's always a restriction. And besides, to go here, that you see, $5. Prabhupada, Prabhupada with $5, and he got this even the permission to leave the country. By the time the government rules is called the Reserve Bank of India. The foreign exchange is extremely difficult. But we were allowed to give $5. And this is also at the time of departure. And the $5 equivalent was 40 rupees at the time. So you had 40 rupees. 40 rupees was $5 at the time. The Prabhupada Lamata, 40 rupees was worth of foreign exchange of 40 rupees. And $5. From $5, you cross in the the Atlantic Ocean, and how much struggle that Prabhupada had in getting the permission from Srimati Maraji, Mataji. And I had a good portion of also, in the latter part, Srimati Maraji Mataji was very close to the Jew. I was doing my work in Bombay. We used to go almost every evening to her house because she tell me about Prabhupada, a lot of things that you don't find in the London Jagannath things. The internal, personal so she was narrating about how Prabhupada came to her and how Mataji was telling that Swamiji, don't go, you're too old. You won't be able to do anything there. And say all these things, don't do this, don't do that, don't drink this, don't eat this, don't associate this with this. Who will follow? At the same time, you're too old. And it's not so easy. And also the journey, cargo ship, regulars 1 month, and the Atlantic Ocean. How is it possible? So it was there's really it is something something it's not very easy for ordinary people. But the determination that Srila Prabhupada had, that is again and again when he was questioning Mataji, that Mataji was bound by Prabhupada's determination, saying, okay, you go. So she arranged the passage. And sometimes the difficulty that we encounter in the journey and along the sea and the heart attacks and the rough Atlantic Ocean, there is something that we can all remember and appreciate, that the determination. But the determination, the driving force was instruction of the spiritual master. So, and besides that, and the Prabhupada own the commitment that Bhagavad as it is. As it is. So as it is something that you can appreciate. Now more and more, when you meditate on the word as it is, on these words, the Prabhupada how he became very successful and also how he became as a prominent personality, at least in this condition in the 20th century, 21st century, coming out of India, in the saintly personalities. It said in history will record that the Prabhupada will be the most prominent as a saintly personalities in the 20th century, 21st century, in the 20th century that came out of this very culture. So this way Prabhupada we can all say that Prabhupada is the most prominent disciple of Siddhanta Prabhupada, and also in this 20th century it carried the message of Krishna consciousness worldwide. And so this will remain as definitely in the history as 100 years, 200 years, 300 years from now, and people will remember that the Prabhupada was quite close. And also that way the descendants, that Bhaktisiddhanta, and the whole, parampara system, Brahma Madhva Gauri Sampradaya, that is to say, the whole Sampradaya will be uplifted by Prabhupada's contribution. So therefore such things are not ordinary thing. It is the blessings of the higher authorities in this particular case. Of course, when Varanga Mahaprabhu that they predicted that Prativite Asi Ruto Nogaradi Kram Sarvata Prasavati Guna. This prediction after how many generations how Prabhupada was definitely the personality that came in this lineage, in this parampara system. Met this Gauri Sampradaya had become very known in the Brooklyn corner of this planet. So this should be recognized and should be appreciated. And, so therefore, so Prabhupada So he was trying to work together with his God brothers. But sometimes there was difficulty also. See, the difficulty. But then, you carry at least one part of the instruction that is given to you by the spiritual master. Because that's like we are the Prabhupada's disciples. And Prabhupada disciples, and according to the, like the Prabhupada's, and let's say, that the perception about those different disciples, the Prabhupada gives different instructions to different individuals. And let's say, it's very clear that so therefore, if those individuals carry these instructions forward, then definitely there will be according to the commitment of those individuals, according to the not only commitment that the blessings coming from higher authority. So if this is following that, definitely what blessings, of course, the Lord, that things will happen in of course, everything depends by the blessings of the Lord. But but it is good for even for the generations to come. Let's say the subsequent generations come. Let's say now the direct disciples of Prabhupada there, and then these subsequent generations will continue to carry this message. And but just to very carefully judge even in Prabhupada's instructions. What are the instructions that Prabhupada left? That everybody can study and acquire those instructions. And those instructions, if someone is inspired to carry that, at least there are volumes of instructions. Of those instructions, someone who is inspired by taking out even one instruction, taking out of those many, because you cannot do all these things, but at least select the areas where one becomes very enthusiastic and try to dedicate one's life in following that instruction. So this will be very helpful for individuals who want to remain stable and strong in Krishna consciousness, in following this in the Parampara system. But now today we have involved this Advaita philosophy, and there are so many other groups, that is some kind of competition or some kind of in the process of competition, criticizing each other. We are hearing all these things. All things are some kind of new, because in Prabhupada's time this was not there. We had only one Prabhupada, and everybody has followed. So we didn't have any of these things. But now today, the generations coming, they are encountering all these aspects. And so then sometimes it becomes confusing what to do. And so therefore, in those situations, it is good to see the genuine, let's say, the tradition is coming. And take up one part of the tradition and dedicate one's life. And I may remain connected in that parampara system. And then one's life will be very stable, and in spite of any distractions, but your understanding is if you are fully understood, that at least that part of the instruction, carry that, and somehow the Lord will protect, and the whole parampara system will protect, and you remain enthusiastic internally. I think this is very practical thing. So the present scenario of ISKCON has become also very complicated. We have so many different problems that we're encountering. But I think those who remain very loyal to Prabhupada's teachings and Prabhupada's instructions, and those who dedicate their life, definitely their life will be always be protected, and the blessings of these are the one who carry that lineage, who carry forward that that is very practical thing. So therefore we should all try to read very carefully Prabhupada's life and what he really wanted to do. What we read, Prabhupada's life, just like I said, Prabhupada's the primary success and his commitment. I'm beginning to analyze nowadays because of the certain situations. Prabhupada's success was, one thing was as it is. The Bhagavad Gita as it is. So as it is, this is a very wonderful principle that that one can imbibe, and it is means without any adulteration, without any change, without any interpretation, but something one can very seriously that understand and try to apply it in one's day-to-day life. And this is a very important principle according to the Parampara system. That when I manufacture my own some kind of a theory, like Ryan said, well, this is like this, but this is not going to work. But when one is sticking to that instructions that the Guru Maharaj has given, and one, of course, in that one can consult various, let's say, knowledgeable people, and see whether my understanding is it the right way, or is it something that possibility is always there. But the most important thing in the life of a disciple is to focus, to very contemplate, to seriously try to understand. To seriously understand, even the teachings, many people read, let's say, many people read, of course, even in the Prabhupada's purports and his explanation, his thoughts, everything is written in the Bhagavad and in the written forms. But sometimes he also, sometimes personally, speaks something very personal thing. But therefore, it is sometimes, those who hear those personal things have a certain, like deeper understanding. Even when it's given in the text, sometimes if you interpret what is written in the text, sometimes they might not have all the details of the instructions. But someone can, that's like when Krishnadas Kaviraj writes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, instructions from the other important followers of Param who have intimate connection. So in this way, it's very authentic. That everything is that word has a deeper understanding. So it is good to try to not just from not some speculation. Like a lot of people say, Prabhupada said it, Prabhupada did, Prabhupada did. Whether what the Prabhupada said or not, but we find that today, many like the young devotees say, Prabhupada said it. But actually you have to be very careful whether Prabhupada really said it, or how did you hear it? The reading or from some hearsay from somebody, and therefore they say. So the idea that I'm focusing is that this conception is as it is, like reading this probably as it is. But similarly, we should try to understand the Prabhupada's instructions as they are, and then you can focus on one of those that you are enthusiastic. For example, book distribution. The book distribution, what Prabhupada said. Prabhupada said, that is my personal perception, the book distribution. So Prabhupada always talked to me about what is happening around the world. Let's see. So book distribution, so Prabhupada is very upset when you say something wrong about the book. And that's for selling. When they say something not true. In America it was like that. That is came to Prabhupada's notice. So in fact, one of the reasons of our books were banned in the airports probably was because our devotees just used called at that time called a change up. Change means you ask some large bills from those people, and they just give the small things, and they give most of them. And so such type of things became. When I was in Atlanta, a lot of things happened. That we didn't do it properly. I mean, of course, maybe because of too much enthusiasm and trying to say to Prabhupada, give us so many books, this and that. I wanted to give a lot of things, but what happened, it had a very negative impact, that's all. Then we were banned, and these authorities became very upset with what we are doing. But because we didn't follow it as it is. As it is, that means Prabhupada said, my book should be distributed on the value of their contents. You have to say exactly what is the value of this book. In the Bhagavad Gita, it said that in the Bhagavad Gita it is a dialogue between the Supreme Lord and his friend and the disciple. It is a dialogue about the science of life, about what is the right thing to do, and how to manage this life. And so this contains the deep philosophical and the scientific, and it tells the perspective about the dimensions of Vedic culture. But it's saying that, but if you say something, this is some kind of a story which is not really connected, and just to sell it. And what happened in the marathon? In Atlanta airport, in those days when I was working in Atlanta, all the books were, people pay, they give some money, but everything is dumped in the airport. We have this where the things are dumped. They found it there, most of the books, and then our devotees had to go to collect again from the. In other words, they didn't have any idea about what the book was about. So in this way, but if we did it as it is, as the Prabhupada instructed, then it will only increase. Instead of, let's say, taking a negative attitude, then it will only increase. So therefore, what I'm trying to say is that in the selection of this Bhagavad, if one person is there, becomes Brahman, and the glory of that dynasty becomes uplifted. That is very important. Each one of us, as a member of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, so if we behave as Prabhupada would have liked us to behave, dealing with people, enlightening each other, devotees, and also in preaching. Especially preaching, but ours is a preaching society, preaching institution. If one person goes something wrong, the whole society becomes, you have all these ups and downs in the society. What happens, Ravindran's court case, and all this, difficulties that they encounter. If we were very careful right from the beginning and try to focus on the quality of our commitment and preaching, and then because this is undoubtedly this Vedic culture is the cream of all civilizations. There is no doubt about it. We wanted to give this to everyone for the welfare of everyone and for their well-being. But this is for their own well-being. Why this message? Why does it be blocked in presenting this message? This is because the person who is carrying it, and sometimes out of some of the thoughts, it is not presented as it is, and there is some kind of then when they found out that no, this is not true, and then people get upset, and then try, and then they will come. So therefore, it is very important to remember that the message that to the degree that a person is able to present that science and philosophy only up to the degree that he or she is strict really in the process of preaching. And so it's not something beyond Beyond that, of course, by the presence of the higher authorities, may require any form of knowledge. But at least, when one is equipped, with the proper knowledge and the proper skill, how to convince the other person in Krishna consciousness. To that degree, it's just individuals that perform. But beyond that, it should be very careful, because when they say something wrong or something that can make others angry, it should be, if this is avoided consciously, knowing that this is my limit, I can only stick to this, and that way, there is some kind of understanding, and the message could be properly received, and the other person will not be upset. Such conscious effort is necessary on the part of each devotee, either young or old. So in this way, the purity is a force. If the purity is force, so therefore the purity is maintained, as it is means purity. So if the purity is maintained, then definitely the society will never be in difficulty. But then when the purity is not maintained properly, so then the trouble starts. So this is very important in this correction, that that's like among metals, gold is regarded as a very important metal because of the quality and the purity. And so similarly, still in a community or in a society, so of course, those who are in power by the blessings of the higher authorities, the honors, they will come out as prominent. But besides, the followers are in the community also consciously make some conscious effort that we have to present the tradition as it is, or the culture, the dharmas, and the philosophy, and science, and all these things are that we have this conscious effort that I must try to understand as it is in the pure form, and then try to present that knowledge, and it will be a good service in the community, and only the glory will be, I may not be able to do, let's say, something very special, but at least I maintain myself that within that framework, presenting as it is, the little portion of knowledge, or little fraction of knowledge, but if I can focus on that and try to present as it is, and try to maintain myself as one of us, that at least the family tradition was already there. Prabhupada, Prabhupada's glories only increase. And so in this way, if this conscious effort is maintained, and the only glory to Prabhupada, to Parampara, and that way Krishna consciousness flourishes. And very pleasing to Prabhupada, and also to the humble service to Prabhupada, the dynasty. It's like a dynasty called the Sampradaya. To bring glory to the Sampradaya. And so, therefore, I should pray the presence of Prabhupada and the higher authority that this understanding comes to each one of us, and try to, in our own way, try to maintain that understanding, and within that understanding we can work, and it will be glory to the Sampradaya, and also it will be most pleasing to Prabhupada. That is this taught that killing my eating is favored as damaged. And we have come taught. Just like the relationship between Gaudiya Sampradaya and Gaudiya Math and ISKCON, it's a kind of a tension at the moment. And when you think about this, it's also very important when I go. But how to, we're supposed to be the Gaudiya Sampradaya, but at the same time, because of certain, I would say misbehavior of this tension is created. And it's actually like a serious matter. But, this has come to our thought, and we have to all think about it, how to manage the situations. I have a different perception, but sometimes it may not be very welcome by others. But it is good to spell things out, at least internally, those who relate, and because we want to maintain the purity of this system. And we don't want to be contaminated. But at some time, we shall also have seen how to things in a more practical manner. But mostly, the perception I have is that the troubles are mostly by those who present in a not a very pleasant manner and created misconception. Understanding. So the leader may have a certain perception, but those followers of the leader don't present it properly. That creates more problem. And, our connection is primarily on that direction. Right? Therefore, I request that such and such things should not be presented. Do the kirtan together. There's wonderful kirtan here, Sadahari. That's our culture. But if one start talking about political thing and other things, then it's not really platform. And also, you should not say something, very unpleasant for just to temporary suggestive attraction. And so that is definitely an important dialogue is necessary with the leaders. This, from both sides, certain dialogue is maintained, and that it is possible to come to some understanding and better relations. So that means dialogue, and I'm saying that dialogue is this platform, very free. When we criticize that from both sides, there will not be a solution. It will only increase. Time for dialogue. For reference, this word dialogue means discussion. You've done this something wrong, and this should not be done, and that should be agreed upon. But this can only happen through discussion, and it is possible. So I don't know. I've spoken something that I never. That came from you. Self-discovery is something right, but it's very personal. It's a very personal thing. My perception, I see it this way. But I think the success of our movement will be presenting as it is, what Prabhupada taught us. That will be ultimately that will be success. Bhaktivedanta Putras and Bhaktivedanta Institute. These are the three primary things that the Prabhupada's time, Pakistan is unity, and so Bhaktivedanta Institute is mostly preaching today. These are all preaching platforms, preaching today, important people to the Institute. So recently there is some problem about Bhaktivedanta Institute. But Prabhupada said, this Bhaktivedanta Institute preaching means preaching to the scholars and scientists and the important people of society. Prabhupada said that this will enhance the procedures. He said the most important preaching arm of the society. And sometimes this is all black and white instructions and writing and folio, often you follow Prabhupada's instructions. And therefore this thought has come to me as a part of see what is right and what's wrong, and what is important. Switzerland, I find personally that the intellectual people are very, at least a few people that I've met in the intellectual circles, professors, and as I meet such type of people not in the country but outside in international gathering. Also by our contacts are in conferences and discussion groups around the world. And I found people coming from Switzerland, they are very, it's good to talk to them, very generous type and willing to share. And I find it most of them not very proud, but very intellectual platform. I find many of them are very attractive. And so I feel that to penetrate intellectual circles will be a very important part of prison consciousness. And I'm sure they will, but in the right way, it has a promising, very promising platform, rich in sending to the consciousness among the students, and I have met quite a few people that it's a very important platform.
Purity is the most important to present the knowledge as it is. So if you are not pure now, it is the most essential principle to get more pure.
So therefore the guideline will be to the degree that one can understand, and at least it is able to understand. And because ours is a Christian institute, a Christian society, therefore the knowledge has to be presented properly to those individuals. And so to the degree that one has confidence that yes, this much I'm confident that it is true because I've understood this part of Bhagavad Gita. It will present that as purity, because it's not that they are trying to understand the whole thing, but at least everyone has a certain good understanding to a certain limit. After that, of course, it's not that you're going to stay only to that limit, but then more and more as one becomes more, let's say, enlightened. So especially for the suppose in our society, if we have a certain training program, let's say 5 years or 6 years, suppose one has become a doctor or come to the temple. So that should be taken by the training for, let's say, 5 years, 10 years, strict education. And there's up to until they graduate to certain standard, and they should not be allowed to preach. I mean, the ideal pattern. Now it is practiced in the beginning out of necessity, it's not everything, but principle, there should be a certain standard of knowledge. That's just for preaching. So when we maintain like that, and now we have training education programs coming here and there in the society, but in the temple itself, suppose we have a section. The newcomers are coming, they have been given a certain time, either at least minimum 3 years or 5 years, or even for those who want to do, let's say, some higher studies. So if these things are maintained, then you can see quality of the devotees will come out of such things, and then they'll be given the proper facility to preach. So like that, if we have a program like that, and then every year some graduates coming out of the temple, then you can generate these qualified preachers. But otherwise, that to be silent, it's something orientation about the Krishna conscious education in the temple structure. The systems are there, and
Yes, Maharaj, can you please give some practical examples how you can reach like colleges or universities or to students in general?
In India, we have now this IY, this Karmajit front. Their type of preaching is been in India. It's gone in all over the temples. We have called IY big form. And I have called the students for to this in connection to Bhagavad. Mostly they are little science oriented, like engineering, medical students, and engineering oriented. Those boys will come to our program because they're interested. But the way that we do is that there are some devotees in the temple who come from those backgrounds before already. So when they come, like in India, we have called IITs, Indian Institute of Technologies. These are, I think, some of the best boys go in this. We have about 6 all over the country, spread out in the country. And so those best boys go to this institute. And so we have preaching program in all these campuses. So what happens is that in the, we call hostel, I call dormitory. All the students live there. So we have these students over there, so we have program. And we are, and also sometimes there is trouble in India because sometimes they don't, some of them don't preach it properly, so causing some kind of disturbance in the administration there. So there are some setbacks out there, but by some other people. And in general, we have these facilities to enter into these campuses, and we have good connection with the faculty members and the students, attend the programs, the seminars, and conferences. So the key is that you have, suppose, one devotee who is connected with, earlier coming from the background, if such a devotee is available, and it's easier because he has some friends there, and those friends, and these programs, and sometimes they come to the temple. Right now we have some of these, let's say, some of the students, they come to spend the weekend. They come on Saturday, spend in the temple, and Monday morning they go. And they participate. And so in this way, it is easier in our case. But yeah, a country like this, because maybe good to have, let's say, 1 or 2, let's say, young professors in the campus. You got friends with them, and then through some kind of a friendship, if we organize some kind of like seminars. The seminars should be such that it is a current and the current issues, and weaved around some, let's say, some department. suppose if you have a physics background, you do some physical sciences. If you have social science background, some social philosophical background, something which is of interest, not only Krishna consciousness, but also the other thoughts of discussion. So if something is available like that, then people appreciate this is useful, and so that they won't think that this is something one thing. And so that way, once you have and to enter into that area, then it opens up very important situation. When I was a student, so I was doing my PhD in America. So what I did was that I had a class. You see, at the university, if you're a student, it is easy that you have a lot of facilities. When you as a student, you had to become a student there. And so with that, I could do it. And I was one of the leaders of Foreign Students, because there's a Foreign Students Association. And I was a leader of the Foreign Students Association. And I could publish in the university newspaper. I published about Prabhupada one time. But I was a foreign student, so I had some facility. And then I organized these courses that in the evening that I organized some courses on Krishna consciousness. And so I was studying this for 2 years. While I was at the university for 2 years. But these facilities were given, and it's all free of course. And in fact, out of that course, many devotees come. This is near Laguna Beach, and near the devotees come from my course, and then I took to Prabhupada, and they even become devotees in the Buddha. So like that, if there is a student available, or even a faculty member, and then it becomes a lot easier. So that means you have to have some little extra effort. Now we have quite a few faculty members in these campuses, not only students, but all the faculty members. The course becomes easier, and so it's going quite well in that part. But to actually initiate a program of this nature, suppose if you want to organize like some kind of a symposium or some kind of a seminar, and if you could invite, if you create a topic, it's a nice topic. Let's say, for example, we have today's many important. Cloning is a good topic, for example, cloning. So you want to duplicate and say what are the benefits or the implications, what the scientific, philosophical, and social impact about this cloning. Suppose you want to clone. Let's say, I don't know, the president of this country. It's called president, right? Is the president?
Yeah, prime minister.
It's the prime minister, right? So let's say if you want to clone the prime minister of Switzerland, and so if you like to exactly duplicate, it's prime minister. It looks like same person. So what would be the social, implications? And some kind of this is a biomedical ethics, the ethical and the social issues and society. Some kind of an interesting topic we should be interested to do it. Some classes of people. And if something can be arranged that. Even in philosophy, it doesn't have to be science. It could be some any other important topic. It's a world peace. World peace, there you can include certain topics which can, from different disciplines, people can come and speak and discuss the practical ways of generating lasting world peace. Because temporary peace is one thing, but we want the lasting, that the lasting world peace, how to generate. They can organize a small conference, like you can get a small hall nearby, and then make some important, one or two important people invited to speak, and then you arrange some very nice prasadam. So it's going to be vegetarian, And so that there are some people, and invite some students and professors from the universities. And definitely some of them will come. And so if we have to say about, they will start sometimes 50 people, it's a good beginning. 30 people, 40 people, whole group. And so at distance are, then let's say different parts of the country. And I'm sure that among them, we do about 3-4 times, and it will generate a very nice group. And that will become the core group. And through them, we can expand the program in a nice way. Switzerland is very attractive, landscape, hillside, some kind of little very intellectual discussion is organized, and even some people from outside will be interested. And as time passes, we invite 1 or 2 Mahamaulians in this gathering. And it begins. And when such important people come, and then people think that this is an important program, and they appreciate and generate this momentum, the big momentum. That is, it is useful. It is when I met this the professor of chemistry last time at the university. I asked about the student, how do you maintain the student discipline in the campus? We started talking about from science to about the social reform, and then we started about speaking about the importance of discipline and having some kind of a spiritual discipline, the spiritual principles. Can discuss about the drug problem in the students, how to control the drugs, and the students get drugs, and how to prevent these things, and how to maintain the good behavior of the students on the campus. And so these things are mildly can touch a little bit like spiritual things at the beginning. You don't do heavy dose at the beginning, but in a very light dose. And so in this way, you build your program. It's possible. I'm sure it will be very successful in Switzerland. That was my perception about people in Switzerland. They are all mostly well-behaved and appreciate thoughtful discussions. It is a nice spiritual preaching. The intellectual development of the colleges and universities. So, plan. If you want to organize a small conference, it is possible. Bring 1 or 2, I don't know from Switzerland, 1 or 2, let's say, important scholars from the United States, American, and then we have to come. Switzerland really wants to come to Switzerland. So the scholars, there is a new friend of mine, is a Nobel laureate. It's very much person. That is in the United States. We have a little infrastructure to organize and take them. And not in a big way, so that don't want to spend much money at the beginning. The program that I did in Rome, that cost around about 70,000 euros with the Rome conference. That was didn't spend some extra money for something that might be so necessary, but I think it didn't expect me. And next conference I'm planning in Bali. plan is possible. I haven't fixed the date yet, but I'm thinking about next year. In Rome, we did a program last year. The mayor wanted to do this conference every year, but we're doing a small program on the 26th of next month. Same place, same hall. We're doing a small program. This is a evolution, Darwinism and evolution. But it's on one day this time. Without any expense this time. So, even we have some nice friends here. Will come in. They will come. Plus some from other countries. Now we have a program on science and religion on world peace. This is a light program, but any other interested science and spirituality for lasting world peace. Yeah, you can bring this a bit about consciousness principles, and these are some of the topics that we can begin with a light topic. See how the people are reacting. And the students and the youth front is also becoming quite important in the international field today. There is another very important international organization called Methanexus, based in Philadelphia. They have their student groups, and it's connected worldwide. I didn't see anyone from Switzerland so far, any group coming from Switzerland. But this group we meet every year in the summertime. I saw some group from France, and from Belgium. Not pictures. It is possible to become a member of this group. I'm involved with that. But these are the outlets. These are the places where I meet all these different people from around the world. And I go like this. I'm the only one who dresses like this. So I'm like a monk. I'm only this gathering. And so I developed some friendship because of going associating with these circles. It became very useful for preaching platform. So therefore, my professors have good facility. So even if I go like this, I doesn't become a stranger, because since I go like this, except in Iran or in Singapore we cannot enter like this. Singapore you stop from the airport because of this is again because of the misbehavior of some of our earlier members created trouble for the country. And inside, once you go inside, you can change it. Coming out no problem. Coming out, come out like this. That's the so countries like Switzerland, I find it a very nice country for presenting this culture. Culture. We would like to see. Prabhupada was very, very pleased. I mean, Prabhupada personally came here in this country.
In Geneva. Geneva.
Yes,
St.
Moritz also.
How many days Prabhupada stay?
St. Moritz, he was just going one day.
Huh?
There was some snow and Prabhupada didn't like it. And he left immediately. And Geneva, I don't know, there he may stay 2-3 days, I don't know.
God also, Switzerland is an important country in the world. It's a stand society. Not as a neutral country, right? It's a neutral. Therefore, the fact that it is welcoming that for mentality. So if we, let us say, already a small country, but good, we must really go around the world. Like in France, we have our society is so much so, like have so much respect in France. But that one in Switzerland definitely it will be easier to influence the leaders here. France, it's very difficult, very negative attitude about France. We do well in all European countries. So please work hard and we have all nice programs. I couldn't have it every time. And then there's Sarah. Happy to. We are also very small people, but I have special attraction for Bali. Sometimes please come to Bali. It is good to see the country. Our enthusiasm, consciousness. People are very simple-minded. So it's good to come forward. So I think that's all for this morning. Dan Maharaj Prabhupada ki dan Sisi Kaunita ki dan Jagannath Baladev Maharaj ki dan Gaur Premanande